Hi, I'd like to share with you today one of my favorite tarot decks. It is called the Dark Goddess Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi Prince, and I got this at darkgoddesstarot.com. I also chose to purchase the companion books sold separately. That's what it looks like, and we'll look at the book later. So the deck is based conceptually on traditional Rider-Waite type meanings, but each card features a different goddess, and the goddesses often, in my opinion, add a slightly different meaning or more of a deeper meaning. Here's a few of the cards. There is the Seven of Fire. They are broken into elementals. Two of Air. The Five of Water. Now, when I first got the deck, and I asked the deck, when would you most like to be used? This card came up. So certainly during times of emotional tumult or despair or difficulty, this would be a good deck to use. However, I've used this deck every day since I've gotten it, and I find the readings are really wonderful and very insightful. Here's the Three of Water, so pretty. And here's the Two of Water. Okay. So the goddesses, as I said, they do add a slightly different meaning, or add to the meaning, and I'm going to show you an example of that. This is the Nine of Earth. This is Bladoweth, known as Flower Face, and she's comprised of 9 different blossoms and flowers. And she's a young woman in the springtime of her life, enjoying her beauty, her sensuality, and her independence. And above her head there is a branch. There's no blossoms on the branch. And there is a sleeping owl. And as her myth goes on, what happens later in her life, she will be transformed into an owl by her lover's avenging uncle. Because that has not yet happened, that is why the owl is sleeping in this card. So it does add a slightly different meaning that, to enjoy this wonderful time and this cycle, because it will change. And of course, when she becomes transformed into the owl, all that beauty is now turned inward, and her intuition and her wisdom is what's blossoming. Here's the back of the cards. It looks like a mermaid's tail. They're about an inch taller than a standard deck and a quarter of an inch wider. So I will show you the quartz, and we start off with the Amazons rather than pages. Here is water. Fire. Air. And earth. Artemis. Next we have the sirens, and they are spectacular. Okay, here's the Siren of Earth, known for her laughter and bawdiness. A very unique card. Siren of Water, who else but Aphrodite? The sensual Siren of Fire. And Lilith is the Siren of Air, and you can see her there with her owls by her side. Okay, then we have the witches. And here is the Witch of Air. Witch of Water. Fire. And my favorite is the Witch of Earth. And that is a beautiful rendering of Inanna and her lover. It's a lovely card. Then we have the Hags. Here is the Hag of Air. Water. And again, these cards have a deeper meaning than you would find in a traditional deck. Earth. And the Hag of Fire. This is a fun card, and I drew this card one day when I was being challenged to really assert myself while still keeping my femininity. It was a wonderful day. So let me show you the book, and then I'll walk you through the majors. So the book has a black and white photo of each of the cards, and for each of the cards there are about 3 or 4 paragraphs about the goddess. And then on the other side there's a small divinatory section. And I find that the divinatory section often reads the way an oracle deck would read. It's different, and I like that it's different. You will also be adding, of course, your own meanings to some of the cards. So here are the majors. Fool. The Magician is Isis, so colorful and beautiful. High Priestess. Here's the Empress. Anyone of you that have spent time in Europe, you will know who the Black Madonna is. I think that is a wonderful choice for the Empress. And though you cannot see it, her face is so compassionate and very beautiful in that card. Rather than the Emperor, we have Sovereignty, which I think was another wonderful choice. This is the Morrigan. Now, I have been working lately with Raven and Crow energy, and I had recently done a meditation with a council of Ravens and Crows. And later that day, when I worked with this deck, this is the card that came up for me, and she, of course, is associated with the Raven and is wearing a headpiece of a Raven. So I thought that was very interesting. Here's the Hierophant. Okay. The Lovers. Of course, is Freya. Chariot. And, oh, Strength. This is unusual. I like very much that she chose to use a bear. It adds an element of healing. Very nice. And the Hermit. It's Baba Yaga. It's a lot of fun. Very unique. Wheel of Fortune. And, of course, Mott is Justice. The Hanged One. When I asked the deck, tell me about your main personality, this is the card that came up. So you'll see, and I can confirm from using this deck, that this deck wants you to take your time with the readings, to meditate on them, and to let your intuition be activated as well. So here is the Death card, as you saw on the box. Temperance. Corruption, which would be the Devil card. Most of the time when I draw the Devil card, I know I'm in for a fun day. And incorporated in the meaning, there are the 2 faces of the Devil, of corruption. So she does use that fun meaning. It's not just a serious card, and I like that she chose to do that. Here's Destruction. Okay, the Stars, a Spider Woman. The Moon. And the Sun is Sekhmet. Bast is not in this deck. This is a gorgeous rendering of Sekhmet. Liberation would be Judgment. A lot of deep meaning to this card as well. And lastly, the World. So, if you have any interest in this deck, and I hope you do, get yourself on over to darkgoddesstarot.com. Thank you for watching, and be well.